everyone. Today I would like to talk about studying at Oxford University. This is my experience from now more than 12 years ago. I wanted to record this in case some of you are interested how it is studying there, or maybe things have changed until now, or they are probably going to change in some aspects in the future. So it's nice to have a recording of how it was around the year of 2010. So Oxford does not follow a Bologna system as many universities in Europe do. So this is something that is different, similarly in Cambridge. And in terms of studies, most of the studies in bachelor are 3 years. And in my degree in mathematics, you can obtain then a master degree in 1 year more. The exams themselves, because it's not a Bologna system, there is not split of exams during the year, but they all happen at the end of the year, which is very stressful, of course, since you have to, at the end of the year, remind yourself of the whole curriculum that you've taught. What is a good thing is that you have some break before these exams. They all happen before the summer. And the year there is split in so-called trimesters. So there are 3 times a couple of weeks with breaks in between to study mostly. And this last trimester is the exam one. And then there is not so many lectures at that time. So that is a good thing. What's characteristic there is the so-called tutorial system. When you go to university, you obtain a college where you actually have the most part of your study days. And on this college, I think there are around 26 colleges at Oxford University, you have your tutors. And with the tutors, you teach or you learn on a weekly basis. So this is usual. It's for the most of the subjects. It depends on the college and on the subject, how long will these tutorials be. So in my case, I think the best was in the first and the second year. Then we had most of our tutorials with the professors directly, depending on the subject. Afterwards, some of the tutorials moved to kind of a bit larger groups. The tutors are usually, as mentioned at least, was that in my case, they come from the college and they are professors with whom you go over your homeworks. So we would get homeworks from the lecturers, and we would then hand in the solutions to these homeworks every week to the tutor in the so-called pigeonhole in the post. So it's the pen and paper. And then we would sit together in the groups of 2, mostly in my case, with the tutor and go over the homework. And this was extremely useful for the learning, because when we did not know something, we would on the spot get tips from the tutor, and they would show us how to solve these questions. And this was something really incomparable to many other places and many other universities. Of course, as mentioned, similar system exists in Cambridge. So this is something that's specific of these universities. Then what is also interesting is that, at least at my college, you would then at the end of each trimester have a meeting also with the head of the college, where all your tutors are, and they discuss your how are you doing. So it's something that sounds more like a high school than the university, but it's really kind of a personal touch. And this was amazing because you have a feeling that they really care about you as a student. So you're not just one of many students, but they know you personally, they know your name, they know your handwriting, and they really follow how you develop. And I really appreciate that, and I appreciate my tutors were amazing, and I thank them a lot for all the support that they've given us. What's interesting for the exam, so they come at the end of the year, and you get a notification on the exams that you will have in the post. So you get the the one letter, and you have all the exams there. And it's a huge stress not to miss an exam, because in Oxford there is no repetition of the exam. So this is one exam. That's it. If you fail, or in the case you were ill, there's a whole procedure of how you can claim retake of the exam, and this actually happens only a year later. So there is no possibility to retake this exam 2 months after, or at the end of the next semester. So in this sense, it's very stressful, not just to pass, but not to miss the day when your exam is. Because different students, once you have some subjects you can choose, have exams at different times. You can have more than one exam in one day. This also happened. And the interesting thing is you need to go to the exam in your gown. So this is like a black coat that looks similar as the graduation gown. And you have to take a hat with you, but you're not allowed to put it on your head. So you just have to have it with you when you enter the room, and they check it. Luckily, if you forget it, they have some hats you can borrow so that you can come in. Yeah, so that's really funny. The first time you can put the hat on your head, or the only time you do it, is when you graduate. So when you have the ceremony of graduation, this is when everyone at the end of the ceremony wears their hat, and you take famous pictures with them. In terms of the pictures, at the end of the year or the beginning, depending which year, we have a picture taken, usually the whole college. So the college consists of students of different subjects and different years. For example, if there is 200 math students in the whole university, maybe 10 of them are on one college. So these 10 from maths, and then maybe 10 from biology, and so on, politics, they all join together in one college. And we take these pictures, and the pictures are taken in a very old-fashioned way. Like the picture in the end, the photo looks like the photos you might see in movies, when someone studied at Oxford or Cambridge, and they have these photos with the gowns, and they look very old, and they're very big photos, and each person can be seen really well. So it's still taken with this special, very old camera. So it's really something. It's a special feeling. You also have this matriculation walk. So when you start the studies, you have to dress up, you have this photo, and everyone from the college, they go for a walk around the city, and then all the tourists look at new students. So they really kept these traditions. I find it amazing that they managed to keep them for like hundreds of years, and that still today you have them. I really like that. In terms of the college as well, you basically live on your college, or if your college has enough money, often they don't have enough money to have, or they're not large enough to have enough accommodation. In that case, you need to search for accommodation outside, either provided by college or you find private housing. But the idea of the college is this kind of everyday living, tutors, you can eat on the college, can make friends, you have some events there, parties, and so on. So really, most of your time is related to the college, and the university is the one that provides the lectures in university rooms and the exams as well. Yes, so another thing I wanted to say is that my studies at Oxford were very traditional in terms of digitalization. So there was very little digitalization, in my opinion, just as much as we would need. So we had, online the scripts and the lecture notes and the homeworks. We could download them. There was a printing room at the college. And as mentioned, we would hand in the homework pen and paper. On the classes, we all carried pen and paper. We all wrote in our notebooks. I don't remember anyone bringing a laptop to the lecture. There were no PowerPoints online. So there was only the whole lecture notes, kind of a book online. Sometimes only a book that you can take from the library, sometimes not even lecture notes, only the homeworks. So everyone would do the old-fashioned pen and paper, and we didn't have Wi-Fi. So that's like 2010. But the college didn't yet have Wi-Fi, so we had only cable internet. I remember I just used this simple phone. I didn't have a smartphone. I mean, I didn't want it. I didn't need it. And I think this is amazing that we still weren't still in this time where everything is digital. There was no idea of the online lecture. This wasn't even an idea. But I remember I had one lecture where the lecturer had PowerPoint presentation, and he would even turn off the lights. And I didn't learn almost anything. I mean, this was a special subject in terms we had like a case study in the end we wrote. So you didn't have to write so much. But I feel I haven't learned really almost anything because I was so used to this connection between my hand and my brain that I would almost fall asleep. And unfortunately, me being a lecturer now, I see that with my students who do not write, they all have laptops and all are provided with the PowerPoints. And very rarely they make notes, although I have to say sometimes they do. But these are always notes on their laptop. So when they learn, I feel they learn only from the computer. I think they don't print this out or anything. They cannot make notes on the side because they just read off the screen. This is also bad for the eyes, of course. But it's really bad for learning because for learning you need this relation between the head and the brain, the hand and the brain. And I had it in my studies, and I believe that Oxford, for example, hasn't changed so much, and I hope it remains like that in terms of traditions. And yeah, this special atmosphere you have there, and I'm really grateful for that. Some other universities where I was, like the Engineering University in Belgrade, the ETH in Zurich, and now the HSLU in Lucerne. So the ETH and the engineering in Belgrade, they also had this pen and paper approach and, let's say, more traditional learning approach. My current university does not. Unfortunately, we are moving towards total digitalization of lectures. But I hope that these other universities will remain as they were. And I think that we should distinct and make distinction between the new techniques and chatbots and the real learning, the base learning and thinking that we need to develop. Anyway, so that was my experience of Oxford and of learning at university. I hope you find it interesting. Thank you.